Hello, hello. And yes, I'm on a new channel because channel 8 got too crowded and yeah. Now, I'm assuming that you clicked on this video because you're probably salty at me for not telling you how the rotations about bye. Okay, well first things first, let's go over some things. I see that you came back here, so I'm assuming that you really want to learn this shit, huh? Okay, well, sit down, get some snacks, shut up, and listen. Skills again? We started with skills the first two. Huh? Hey, you cooked on this. You wanted to know, so I'm going to tell you. Okay? Okay. Now, just in case you guys are too lazy to click a damn video that literally explained in detail about freeze, let me go ahead and try to give you the too long to read, okay? So, freeze, right? Clearly, you can hover over freeze and read it. So, let me read it to you. Confirm addition aerial. It's actually force A, B, and C. When cast, recover 10% of MP/phase force. Freeze's damage increases by the skill level of your finishing moves. Enemies hit by cold attack will receive a snowflake mark. Cold attack as in over here. Draw and slash. Snowflake mark. When an enemy is hit by 24 times or using the finishing move in full, because if you use a finishing move in full, that's how you also release a snowflake mark. Activate or cooldown of freeze is reset, aka you detonate freeze. So basically, you're supposed to hit an enemy. You use freeze. You implement the snowflake mark. You either A, hit an enemy 24 times to detonate the mark and reset the cooldown freeze, or B, you use freeze. You use a finishing move or FM in full, and it's on every single FM that you have. The very last hit will release. The very last hit of a finishing move will release the snowflake mark. To make it make sense. Huh? What? We'll get to that. Just stick with me. Stick with me. That's why I'm by the training room. Stick with me. So, let me just go ahead and take us to the training room, so it's easier to explain. Cause some of y'all like to learn visual, so I'm gonna take us to the training room real quick. Because I'm pretty sure that reading, y'all really don't like to read. That's one thing I remember. Y'all really don't like reading, but y'all honestly should start reading. And the reason why y'all should start reading is because that's how you get your power. Knowledge does equal power. Reading is the gift of knowledge, and knowledge is how you get your power in this game. Most of the people who actually got that power is because they sat down and read. So, go ahead and make a dummy real quick. Let's make I'm gonna make a machinery one since I have a machinery thingy on. Okay. And I'm gonna go on ahead and turn on my character damage so you can see it. Okay. I use freeze. Oh, wait, let me turn it up so I can see it. I want y'all to be able to see the snowflake mark. So I use freeze, right? You see a little snowflake mark? Did y'all see this new flake mark tonic? Okay. Let me do it again. Look at this. Look at the snowflake mark. See? So if you use a finishing move in full, if you use a finishing move in full, or if you do 24 hits to the snowflake, to an enemy while having the snowflake mark on, as you can see, freeze will detonate and freeze's cooldown is reset. See? See? Okay. Now, that's the main gist of freeze. You put the mark on your enemy and then you detonate it, making that her main DPS skill. Because that's not only the move that you're going to use the most, but that's also how you do your damage. Now, I've done my testing and everything, and like I said, your FMs won't do its amazing damage without freeze. That's for anyone who actually sat down and watched that detailed video about freeze that literally will explain it better than I will right now. But, you know, again, people are kind of lazy and don't like to read. So, that's exactly why I'm making the video. So, yeah. So, there's another thing about freeze. I want you to pay attention to here. Pay attention to my stack list. Yeah. So, about Will Sword. For each time you use freeze, just using freeze alone, you can get a stack for... It was Fable. Now it's Tail? What the hell? Well, anyways, you can get a stack for Tail, which is going to look like the F and 2 icon, and you can get a stack for Enhanced Whale Sword. The max stacks that you can get for Enhanced Whale Sword is 3. And that will give you enough to use the Enhanced Whale Sword. See? See how it's gone? So, if I were to... I think it was 3. Yeah. So, if I were to use... I have 1 stack of Enhanced Whale Sword. So if I were to use Whale Sword right now, the stack won't go away. But if I were to get 3 stacks, yeah, it's not 1 stack or 2 stack that will help you use Enhanced Whale Sword. It's 3 stacks. So if I get 3 stacks of Enhanced Whale Sword, look, it's gone. So, Moonstone Flowers. I need to leave and come back. I need to leave and come back so I can show you what it does. Or how to get it. So I keep telling people, this is exactly what I keep telling people to read, because this right here is a prime example why I keep telling people to read. If you read the skills, it'll be easier to understand. Or if you actually, test and experiment, it'll be easier to understand. Like, reading, yeah, of course it's going to give you your knowledge, but you gotta also, put the practice and put the read and everything to practice and stuff like that. You get my point. Okay, now, new and refreshed stack list. Now, pay attention to my stack list, okay? I want you to pay very close attention to my stack list. I'm going to use freeze, okay? Yeah, If you use ES Throw within 5 seconds after using freeze, you can use an enhanced ES Throw. Also, notice how once I use freeze, I got a stack for tail, and I got a stack for not ES Throw. Well, I did get that too, but I got a stack for tail, which is going to give you a buff, and I got a stack for enhanced whale sword. Notice something? I popped freeze. And as soon as I popped freeze, I got this stack. So, to get the stack for Moon, Snow, Flowers, these stats are actually supposed to boost the damage of ES Opposing Slash and Charging Slash. Yeah, that's what these stats are for. They're supposed to... Here, I can even show you. Moon, Snow, Flowers... Moon, Snow, Flowers. Yeah, you gotta stack Moon, Snow, Flowers for this one. See? So that's what Moon, Snow, Flowers is for. It's for ES Opposing Slash, and it's for Pouncing Slash or Charging Slash. For those who are oldies like I am. The tail, or it used to be called Fable. It used to be called the Fable stat. It's basically the more you use freeze. If you use freeze 20 times, you'll get the max stats. And you saw it earlier, but it was 1050 magic. Actually, I'll go ahead and do it for you. That's the max stats you can get for Fable, or we'll call it Tail now. Also, that's a 3, right? So that's pretty much freeze. That's pretty much how important freeze is. So freeze, once again, is your main DPS skill. It's also your core skill. Of course, it's your core skill. You can tell because no skill cues whatsoever. So the gist to buys DPS is that you have to. The gist to buys DPS is that you pretty much have to continuously use freeze to simplify it. And it's also how you build your stats. Yes, it's also how you build your stats, as I just showed you. It's also how you do more damage to your skills, your finishing moves included, especially your finishing moves. Look, this skill right here, FM4, I'm talking about this skill. The one that has 5 inputs, one of the best FMs in the game. Yes, this FM right here. Yep, that FM right here. Now, I'm going to reset something. Give me a second while I reset something. What was it? Look here. Look. Looky, looky. I'm going to actually show you. Right? 27 bill, right? Okay. $43 bill compared to 27 bill. That's how special freeze is. Hold on. $4 bill, right? But with freeze, $12 bill. $12 bill compared to $4 bill. See my point? Without freeze, your F-phones won't do its amazing damage. So that's why back in the day I used to be like, oh my god, why are they not using freeze? Without freeze, your F-phones won't do its amazing damage. Hell, this even. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. $59 bill alone, right? Well, $65 bill, right? Okay, but what if I use freeze? Okay, watch this now. Watch this now. See? It does more damage. That's how important freeze is. So now, I will finally sit down and explain my build as to why I have FM2 and freeze tunes. Freeze's damage increases by the skill level of finishing moves, but it also increases its damage by tuning freeze as well, which is exactly why I tune FM2 and freeze on my skill kit. But why? Why are you focusing so much on freeze? Well, I just showed you why. It's your main DPS skill. It's how you do your damage. Freeze is literally the backbone. Freeze is literally the gist, the backbone of Bai's skill kit. She doesn't do her consistent yes, she does multi-hits, she does consistent DPS. That's her specialty, of course. But it wouldn't do its amazing damage and its awesome damage without using freeze. You literally just saw that I just did my FMs alone, and then I just showed you the results of what happens if you use freeze. So now you know why I kept repeatedly saying freeze is your main DPS skill. Freeze is your main DPS skill. You won't be able to. Now you know why. You've seen it for yourself. Now, the reason why I have my build is because I know how to consistently detonate the mark, the snowflake mark. This mark right here is what I'm talking about. This mark right here is why I have my skill build. This mark right here, once again, is your main gist. This mark right here is how you do your damage. Yes, this mark right here. This right here, that's pretty little small mark that appears on Draw and Slash and appears in freeze. It's how you do your DPS. This is the backbone. So freeze is way much more important than you guys think. It's more than just popping the mark. Freeze is literally the backbone of how you do your damage. You said this 1,000 times. You said this so many times now, Chiharu. Yeah, and there's a reason why I'm saying this. I want you guys to get this because this is the most important. This is one of the most important facts. This is literally Bai 101. This is literally Bai 101. You want to be a pro Bai, then you have to know how to consistently pop that snowflake mark or detonate it. You gotta consistently be able to use freeze. That's how I do my amazing damage. I've been using freeze. Now, I'm gonna give y'all a couple little tips, okay? So, one, if we're going to talk about building, you can build air and then build back, but here's the thing. And I wasn't even gonna do this, but here's the thing. I want you to pay attention to the conditional things, okay? Watch what happens when I use castle shield. Watch when I use every skill on the ground, okay? I'm gonna use every skill on the ground and in the air. Watch this. Aerial wear. Oh, and if you're wondering about chase, where was it? Why are you bringing this up now? Hey, if you want to know how to be a pro bot, or if you want to know how to be a pro player, you need to know how to manually proc these things. No, y'all need to learn how to manually proc these things. That's why a lot of y'all suck so badly at... That's exactly why a lot of y'all suck so badly at breaking shields in Asmodeus and other places. Y'all need to learn how to manually proc these things. It doesn't matter if your skills are force air, force back, force chase. You guys need to learn how to manually proc this thing. Otherwise, you will not get far. You guys have to start paying attention. Okay? You guys really have to start paying attention. Now, aerial. Of course, you saw what happened. I literally just hop up in the air for using Whale Sword, Castle Shield, and ES Wedge Throw to literally proc the aerial conditional thingy. That's how you proc air. You have to hit up in the air. Watch. See how it's not procking aerial in the background? You see how it's not procking aerial? Now, watch what happens when I get up in the air. See? It procced. Now, back. Buy is fully force back. Yes, buy is fully force back. So, you have to hit it from the back. Okay, so you know how I'm standing? I'm facing the square and everything. My back would be on the right hand side. When an enemy is facing the screen, or when you can see the face of the enemy, their back is on the right. Now, when you can see the enemy's hair or back, their back is on the left hand side. So, standing like this, right hand side. Their back will be on the right hand side. Standing like this, the back is on the left hand side. So, flop in version 2 has a chance of the back shield being on the left hand side. How you will know is if she is facing the background, or if you can see her ponytail. If you can see her ponytail and not her face, that means you need to hit on the left. If you can see her face and she's facing the screen or facing you, you attack on the right. Again, the reason why I've been trying to teach you guys how to manually proc the conditional damages is because this is how you also do additional damage for skills that aren't like, you know, force air, force back, force chase. And people who play characters like, let's say, Seha and everything, they have to look for their back in order to deal more damage. So they have it harder than some characters. Some characters have force conditional damages. And so they feel like, oh, since I have this, I don't really need to worry about having to get in the back and everything, stuff like that. When in reality, when you have mechanics like the back shield or air shield and everything, you have to know how to manually proc these things. Just because you have the force conditional damage, it doesn't mean that you still shouldn't know how to force proc aerial, back, and chase. Now, chase. Chase is when you're attacking a target in mid-air. That's literally what chase is. So, you see how Chase is proccing and everything? It's because I'm hitting this enemy while the enemy is, getting, tilting. That means that the enemy is, it's hard to explain, but you kind of get it. Okay, so, you know how, the animation where the punching bag is, tilted or tilted to the side or wherever I'm hitting? That technically means that the dummy is in the air. And that also means that that's how I'm proccing the chase, because it's being attacked in mid-air, right? So when this dummy is tilted, that means that they're in the air. If you attack the dummy while it's being tilted, that means that you're proccing chase. Look. See? So, aerial is when you attack in the air. Back is when you attack the back. I just told you how to find the enemy's back. Chase is when you're attacking the enemy while the enemy is in midair. Yep. So, certain characters have force proc condition damages. Let me say that so it's more clear. Certain characters can force proc conditional damages. It will come within a skill cube as you level your skills. Which is also the reason why I kept trying to tell people to read your damn skill cubes under your skills so you can understand what your skills mean. Like you saw how with Castle Shield, it literally says confirm condition, back and chase. That means that it manually procs back and chase when I'm on the ground, that is. So that also, but it said nothing about force proc in air. So that means that in order to do additional damage, which I will actually show you. Look at what Castle Shield does. $3.4 bill, right? Okay. Well, what if I do it in the air? See? 5.5, almost 5.6 bill compared to 3.4 bill. So, in order to do that extra damage, you really have to know your skills. That's the general thing. Aside from really diving in deep and so forth, You have to really know your skills. That's why I kept telling people read your skill cubes and stuff like that. Because you miss out on important details. Even the moves where enemies below a certain percentage or enemies above a certain percentage means that your skills increase and stuff like that. There's actually skills like that. You just have to, once again, read your skill cubes. The skill cubes, aka the things that you unlock when you level your skills, not just core skill. Core skill, you will know your skill kill. Oh my god, I said that wrong. You will know your core skill if you hover over your skill, or if you click on your skill, and in the details, it has no skill keys whatsoever. That's your core skill. I'm talking about skills like this, which is one of your normal skills, and your finishing moves. Because I'm pretty sure these won't be having that at all, so, yeah. The bottom amazing skills don't count for the time being. But if we're talking about stuff like, your TF don't count either. But we're talking about stuff like, we're talking about the skills that you get for normal, official. We're talking about the skills that you get for normal, official, and special agent. Those skills. Those FMs. FM1 to FM4, and everything but your core skill. I'm talking about those skills. Those skills are the ones that when you level them, you can either A, get them to level 10 and ES a skill, while also getting the skill keys for that as well. Or B, you level the skills, and as you level those skills, you unlock skill keys, which makes your skill even stronger or more easier to utilize or easier to use. Which also encourages you to level up your characters. Well, why are you mentioning that? Well, how else do you expect to get your skill cubes? How else do you expect your skills to be easier to use? See my point? So where am I going with all this? Yeah, that's how you do your damage. That's how you beat up the quotation mark pro buy. Okay, now that we have that crash course out the way. So now we have that crash course out the way. Some weird things though. Apparently, ES opposing slash does more damage on the ground compared to the air. The reason why charging slash does more damage than aerial slash is because of the extra input. Why it does more damage on the ground for ES opposing slash, I honestly don't know. I think they messed up with the two. I think they messed up with making the skill. At least that's kind of what I think. Cause I won't lie, this is pretty weird. Look at this. Look at this. 20 bill, and then I don't know why. It's weird, but yeah. When you use ES opposing slash on the ground, it does more damage. I don't know why. It's weird. I think they messed it up. I kind of want to say they probably messed it up, but I mean, I don't mind having a skill that does more damage on the ground, considering that sometimes I fail to put myself in the air because I'm pressing the skill too fast or pressing the arrow key too fast and I end up on the ground. But yeah, you want to be a pro buy? Well, okay. So, back to what I was talking about. If you want to build air, then know that 1, 2, 3, and 4 skills, you won't do your amazing damage on the ground. You have to use it up in the air. If you're going to build air more than back, you need to be willing to keep yourself in the air in order to do your amazing damage. Buy is mostly forced back, so that's another benefit for building back over air. I'm not saying that you have to build back over air. By all means, build however you feel. Build however you feel. And in regard to tunes, costume tunes. So in general, you want to use the stat tunes, but you have skill tunes. Well, I know how to utilize freeze, which is why I use freeze and FN2 tunes. But in general, if you want it easier to play by, just build the stat tunes. It ain't gonna hurt you. But if you still want to go skill tunes, I'm not sorry. I am not sorry if you do less damage. I'm not sorry if you do less damage or can't really, or not happy with your damage. Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm not sorry if you're not happy with your damage with FN2 tunes. In reality, the stat tunes are literally just more. To me, honestly, the stat tunes are honestly just higher score and lower ratio. While with the with the skill tunes and everything, it's more damage and a higher ratio. Yeah. You can still build stat tunes, build however you like. You can still build stat tunes, build however you like. And that's you. Now, something to get out here. Bai is mostly magic. Why is she mostly magic? Well, I'm pretty sure you can literally just hover over her and figure it out yourself. But yeah, she's more magic attack than physical. Her hard-hitting skills are magic attack, so that's the reason why we built more magic attack. Yep, that's why we built more magic attack. Her hard-hitting skills are lean more on the magic side, so we built more magic than physical, while still having physical because again, she's hybrid. I literally just hovered over her skills, and it literally says physical and magical. That's one thing. She's also dependent on attack speed. You want to play her with some attack speed. Well, why? Why do we want to play her with some attack speed? Shit, you want to play a Bai that's 1.0 attack speed? By all means. If you get frustrated as to why you're not feeling fast enough, that's your problem, and your problem alone. AKA, get some attack speed for her, please. You want to play her? You want to play her at your best? Get some attack speed for her. Okay? Okay. Now, yes, you put back attack. You put back attack on your stuff. Triggers, your weapon, your modules, your receiver, your trinkets. We'll talk about trinkets later. Your triggers, your costs and stuff like that. Yeah, you put back attack. Again, she's mostly back, so she'll definitely benefit if you build back. The chips is where you can decide whether or not you want to. Yeah. The receiver, you can go for the air receiver because again, if you want to build air, just know that you have to make sure that you keep yourself up in the air. Otherwise, your air crit damage won't apply. So you know how I have back and critical damage? If I use freeze on the ground, if I use whale sword on the ground, notice how I just proc back attack, right? So notice how when I use whale sword on the ground, I proc back attack. That means that what I have for back attack will apply. Not for air, not air damage or crit damage. My air or crit damage won't apply. Let me explain it. Let me show that one more time and explain it. So when I use whale sword on the ground, it only procs back attack. That means that only my back attack crit damage that I have, my back attack crit damage stat, will imply for that damage. Will imply for damage. So when I get up in the air, notice how I proc air on back. So when I use it in the air, that means that my air crit damage and my back crit damage will apply when it comes to doing damage. Okay, let me explain it one more time and a bit more simple so you guys can actually understand. My back attack crit damage will imply, not my air, not my chase crit damage. It won't apply because I only procced back. So only back attack crit damage will apply. My chase damage my chase crit damage won't apply. But my aerial and back crit damage will apply. Because I got up in the air. And I only proc the air and back. So only those two will apply. Now does it make more sense? Yeah, so that's the con of building back. That's what killed the back attack. That's the con of building aerial. If you build air, you have to make sure you keep yourself up in the air. Otherwise, see? Hopefully you were paying attention to the top left while I was fighting. Yeah, that's the con of building air. If you're someone who ends up attacking on the ground sometimes, building back will be better. Plus, again, almost all your skills are literally... Actually, hold on. I'll do it for you. See? Buy is fully forced back. Yeah, buy is fully forced back. Oh, hold on. Ariel. Well, correction. She's almost forced back. Hold on a second. Oh, it was... Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I thought it was... Okay. That's what it was. Oh, it was this. It was this. Watch this. Yeah, it was that. But yeah, buy is mostly... Let's go with mostly, okay? Let's go with mostly, because not even her skills don't really count. Yeah, her skills don't really count, but, not skills. Her attack don't really count. So we'll go with her skills. All her skills are forced back, is what I tried to say. Yeah, all her skills are forced back. This one. 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 This one, of course. Of course, this one. 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 Of course, this one. And of course, this one. All her skills are forced back. Yes, all her skills are force back. Okay, with that being said, like I said, so you can build air, but you need to keep yourself up in the air in order for your air damage to imply. Otherwise, you build back if you feel like you can't confidently keep yourself up in the air. But the safest way is you want to build back over air. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But you can still build air if you want to. As regards to the receiver, you can get the air receiver or the back receiver. I got the back receiver since, well, that's my build. I build back attack. I'm different from the other ones. But I also still have some air. So chips have air and back. And the reason why I said have air and back is because Bai is mostly back, but her secondary is air. Bai is mostly back, but her secondary is air. Well, why are we building the secondary? I don't know. Ask everyone else. I just let them build whatever. So, you can build air or back. Okay? But make sure that you have your... If you're going to build air, make sure your secondary is back. If you're going to build back, make sure you have some air on you. Now you get it? Makes more sense now? Okay. Now, custom tunes. You can put stat tunes. You can get the stat tunes if you want to. If you want to try to see if you can consistently pop freeze and use my skill build, by all means. But the general build for Bai for costume tunes is the stat tunes, the normal stat tunes. You can literally look at Ruby. You can literally look at Ruby and Renfield's page for the stat tunes and stuff like that. Not Renfield's chips. Renfield that wasn't to throw shade. Calm down, that wasn't to throw shade. But yeah, you can literally look at those two stat tunes. The costume tunes. Yeah, the costume tunes. You can look at those. Chips, you want to get air. Chips, you want to get black chips. If you want to go purple chips, if you want to follow Renfield's build, sure, since, well, she is back. So, how about this? You can go purple chips or air chips, but you mostly want to go air chips to kind of balance it out. Yes, to balance it out. Because if you get too heavily reliant on one, you'll see it. You'll see it for yourself. I'm not gonna explain that part. You'll see it for yourself. It'll be self-explanatory. You'll see it for yourself once y'all do your testing. Cause I know after this, someone's probably gonna do some testing. You'll see it for yourself once you do the testing. So, yeah. Don't build full aerial. I think Ruby built full aerial, but that's mainly because he can keep himself in the air. If you can't keep yourself in the air, do not build full aerial for Bai. Have your secondary as a backup. Have some okay, let me say this one more time. If you're going to build air, have back as your secondary build. For example, chips. If you're going to have go full air, make sure you have some back attack chips to back it up just in case you can't proc the air critical damage. You're safe on back attack critical damage. If you build back attack critical damage, you're safe because if the air damage doesn't imply, you can still imply your back crit damage when you use your skills. I'm referring to the conditional damage that you'll see at the top left, where it says AO chasing back. This is what I'm talking about. Now, if you really want to do your damage, you can copy my build. I don't mind if you copy my build. Just the costume tunes. I would say go stat tunes if you don't feel confident enough to consistently proc your freeze. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay? Okay. You still haven't talked to us about rotations. Y'all really want to learn about that shit, don't y'all? Oh, y'all really want to learn about that shit, huh? Oh. You must be here. Oh, you must really be here, huh? Oh, okay. Well. Well then. Oh, y'all actually want to learn this shit, huh? Okay. Y'all might want to go run it. Y'all might want to go pause this and run to get a couple more snacks for this then. Well, shit, y'all really want to learn this shit. Goddamn. Okay. The start of rotations is freeze, and then use whale, sword, or freeze even tears. So the reason why is because whale, sword, and freeze even tears are the major hit count skills. Aside from this, and well, this, yeah. So, your main hit count moves are Whale Sword and Freeze Even Tears, which is the reason why at the beginning of your freeze cycles, your freeze rotations, I use Whale Sword or I use Freeze Even Tears. Another rotation, which you just saw, is no, let me do it one more time. Is let's say detonating the freeze with draw and slash. Yes, the snowflake marks overlap with each other. What I just did with freeze F2, that's another rotation. Freeze F4, that's another rotation. So if you want to know why I called freeze, So if you want to know why I called F2 and F2, F3 the situational, it's because you can use F3 for freeze, for free freeze detonation. Oh, thank you. Oh my god. But the reason why I called F3 a situational,
I had something to say.
So the reason why I called F3 free freeze detonation is because 2 hits. If you're using it 4, it's a quick. Well, you can pretty much see it. Otherwise, if you're trying to rush your rotations, you can literally just cancel it after the first slash. But ultimately, F3 is mainly used for a free freeze detonation. F1, you're supposed to cancel it after the TF sign. Otherwise, if you have no other skills up and you really need to detonate your freeze, you can. That's the only time you can use F1 and 4. Hold on a second. Alright, and I am back. But yes, that's the reason why I said F3 is situational. You can A, cancel it after the first slash, or B, for a quick detonation, you can use it in 4. And F1 is also situational. You can A, cancel it after the TF sign, Or B, if you have no other, thank you. Or B, if you have no other ways to, if you have no other ways to detonate your freeze, then you can just use it in full. If you have no other skills available. So that's pretty much it on that. So
You love your fish. I ate